Okay, and we're live. This is the OSRA Scrum for Tuesday, March 31st, 2015. Here tonight we just have Christian and myself. So let's see if this is going to be a quick one. Christian, let's start with you.
I updated the two pull requests that remain there. The pagination from Brian. I refactored the testing of the inactivate and active and destroy the sponsorship.
Yeah, yeah. I was just looking through it, and this point that you're making here that we're reaching into the services and mocking something inside them. Um, I think you're absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I don't think that mocking the service itself would be that much of a trouble. We,
Well, how? Let's see. We can go to that.
like we can basically make it uh, just turn it into a double and say, I mean, we can use an instance uh, verifying double, or we can just use a simple double and tell the double to expect to receive certain calls and then to return one thing or the other, depending on whether we're testing the happy path or the sad path.
Uh, and by doing the double, we if we do the double, then we don't have to stop the new and the call, right? Methods.
We would say that I think we would say in this case it's update and destroy. So we would say uh, allow inactivate sponsorship to receive new and return a double, and then allow that double to receive call and return either true or false.
Oh, I thought we just cloned the class and
I don't think we need to go that far. We can really use as simple as done of a kind of stand-in object.
uh-huh.
Like all we need to do is mock or stub out those calls and tell it what to return, either true or false, and that's it.
When you yeah, you're right. So yeah,
I think that should work.
yeah,
Um, yeah,
that's more appropriate for unit testing.
yeah, and yeah, I think I agree with you completely that we're because it's not obvious when you look at the controller that's
Mhm.
under test. It's not obvious why we're mocking or why we're stubbing update and destroy on the sponsorship object. Because from the controller, you don't see that those methods get called. All you see is that the service gets called. So you need to know what the service does to understand why these calls are getting stubbed. Um, but it would make much more sense, as you say, to stub the service because then you can be looking at the controller code with the spec code side by side, and you understand exactly what's being stubbed and why it's being stubbed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, do you want to handle this as part of this PR then?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Unless you want to merge it.
Well, I do want to merge it ASAP, but if you think that this is something that can be that won't take too long,
Yeah, definitely. I'll do
okay.
it tomorrow.
All right. That sounds good.
So,
Uh, yeah.
uh, one second.
So then the other one is the user pagination.
Yeah, that's the one from Brian.
Yeah. And
What did I do there?
is it related to the? Oh yeah, I guess that long comment that I left. So index spec only tests view-related logic.
Oh yeah, I removed the pagination. It's not testing the pagination.
Right, right. Okay, let me have a look. Uh, have a look at it, and I think that should be ready to go because, as far as I remember, that was the only thing that was left, as far as I was concerned, anyway.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right, sounds good. So me, I had a very unproductive week as far as OSRA goes. Um, I'm not sure that I have anything to talk about, to be honest with you. Um, so I need to do. Um, I need to push our develop to staging because what's in there now are two major things that the client is expecting. One is the start date not being before the OSRA, um,
Mm-hmm.
what is it, the
OSRA establishment date.
establishment date, right? And the other one is the fix for this father alive, father deceased.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we need them to review that. Those are both client requested features or bug fixes, and
Oh right. And when we tested that on the local on the database clone, it already changed, right? We tested this. Remember we tested
yeah,
this on the local like 2 weeks ago.
yeah,
The database has changed since then. The production database.
yeah. The production would have changed, but I'm assuming that they haven't. Well, yeah, maybe it's a good idea. So I can push it right now to staging. Uh, there are no risks there because it's all dummy data. It's not real production data. And then maybe before it goes out to production, we can
Yeah.
run that test again.
Actually, since we have backups of the database, shouldn't be a problem, right?
Yeah,
From Heroku.
yeah. We have daily backups of the
Yeah,
database,
yeah.
so that should be fine. And the other thing is, before I push it out to production, I want to ask the client basically when is a time that they're definitely not going to be using the application,
Mm-hmm.
so that we can push it. I can at least make sure that all the orphan records are still valid before we basically tell them to start using the application again. Do you know if on Heroku there is a way to take the application offline? There must be, huh?
Uh, to run it on locally
No,
to
no, I mean to basically to make it inaccessible to the outside world.
well, you just stop the server, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, just from the command line,
Yeah.
Heroku stop. Yeah,
Yes, or find the process one.
yeah,
Actually, it's Heroku, so you have to do it to them too. I'm sure
okay,
there's a command.
right. So yeah, for sort of double security, stop the server, apply the
Mm-hmm.
yeah, apply the update, run our quick tests, and then restart it again. Yeah. So yeah, this is my immediate plan for right now. Um, the other thing is I have basically the code is finished that I didn't want to submit pull request until we've resolved the things that are still sitting there. I have the code that's ready for this,
Mm-hmm.
showing the total sponsorship numbers. So actually I can. Well, it is basically very straightforward. Like when you go to the sponsors index page,
Yeah, I remember that.
yeah, there is a subtitle that basically says currently this many sponsorships. Um, and yeah, that's it. I think that's all I can say. Okay, so I completely dropped the ball. We didn't have the client meeting on Sunday like we discussed. We might, so we're still in a position where we haven't told the client that um, we would like to take some time off from working on client features and focus on the background, the sort of
Mm-hmm.
behind the scenes kind of architecture.
Oh, and forgot that we have to do that recording too.
And yeah, we have to do that video. Okay, so pretty long to-do list.
Yeah.
In addition to the actual tasks that need to be done. Yeah. And at some point, there is also all this stuff sitting in the delivered to client column. This is all the Rails stuff that needs to be formally accepted by somebody. We talked about having somebody play the part of product owner, and it was supposed to be Modism, but now that he's not actively involved, I don't know what we should do, just run through it ourselves, I suppose.
Yeah, and then if client finds something, we just create a new task and change it.
Yeah, but I mean, this is going to be further down the line because the client doesn't see any Rails functionality at all at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess this is on staging, so we can, at any time, if you have a few minutes to spare, you can go to our staging server and run through the, let's say, partner functionality and what user sponsor, yeah, and yeah, just as long as everything is working the way it should, then we can mark it as accepted and set up another release and clear out all these columns. Okay. All right, so we have stuff to do. I'll push to staging, I think, as soon as we're done here, and then send those stories to the client. And from their comment, I understood that they have some comments as well about the import process. They want some improvements or maybe bug fixes, so we should probably expect that sometime soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't work on that part, so I'll have to look into it to understand what's going on.
Well, they generally don't request anything. I think, yeah, they usually request minor improvements, so they're fairly straightforward to implement. But you never know. Okay, so that's it for tonight.
Yeah, I guess so.
And we'll see each other on Thursday then. And hopefully there's going to be more people around. And I don't know when we should try to record that video, if that should be, if we schedule it for a particular day, or we just pick a scrum when we have time and just go ahead and do it.
Yeah, well, let's do it just next Thursday maybe.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it sounds like a plan. It would be good to have at least, well, at least if Gabrielle is here, then we can have a bit more of a, maybe a conversation or a question and answer instead of just kind of one person talking.
Yeah, unfortunately he has that background noise.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it would be good if he gets that fixed, but even if he turns his mic on for a few minutes to say something and then turns it off and we can respond to his question or comment, then I think even that would be good too. All right then, Christian, so let's...
We should make a list of what will we include.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, like we said, we want to walk through the UI at first, and then, yeah, but when it comes to code, what exactly do we want to talk about? I guess we need to think about that a little bit more. Okay. Well, let's come back with some ideas on Thursday then.
Okay, sure.
All right. So I'll see you then.
Okay, take care.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.